Friends, it's time for the first update, and I'm going to be telling you all about how I have approached finding the first few freelancers for the Unicorn Factory, what metrics I've been tracking, and just how this whole first week has been in general. So let's get into it. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Connor. I'm the founder of the Unicorn Factory, a freelancer marketplace in New Zealand and now also in Canada. So on this channel, I make tutorials on how to build your own no-code marketplaces. But in this particular video series, I'm going to be telling you about my journey building the Unicorn Factory in Canada. So I started working on Unicorn Factory Canada on January 1st, which means now I am a week into it, and that means it's time for the first update. And in today's update, I'm going to be telling you a bit about my goals, what I'm working towards, what kind of metrics I am measuring so that I can see what kind of progress I'm making, the types of things that I've learned, and what I have specifically done on the platform already. But before we get into the juicy details, I just want to encourage you to leave comments on this post and just let me know what your thoughts are on the way that I'm approaching certain things. You know, I'm open to hearing all sorts of options. The way that I'm doing it is just like one way of doing it. So just hearing how other people would solve specific problems is always fantastic because, you know, nothing is set in stone. I'm always open to feedback, and I think having you involved with this will help me out make better decisions faster. And then one other important thing that I'd ask you to do on each video is please like the video. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's just dive into the first point that I want to talk about today, which is what my goals are and what milestones I am working towards. So my primary goal with the Unicorn Factory in New Zealand and also in Canada is going to be to get as many work opportunities for different freelancers as possible. On the other side, of course, I want to help local businesses connect with local freelancers, but for me personally, my primary focus has always been helping freelancers do what they love for a living by helping them get more paid work. So the primary metric that I'm going to be looking at to determine how well I am helping freelancers or how good of a job I am doing is by looking at the amount of leads I'm generating each month. But of course, there are other metrics as well that I'll be looking into. For example, how well freelancers convert those leads into clients or how much revenue the business is generating. But at the end of the day, if there's one number that I am going to be measuring myself off, it is how many leads I am generating and also for how many different freelancers I am generating those leads. So the key variables that are going to influence how many leads we get is the amount of clients that visit the site and the amount of freelancers that we have on the site. Because I have neither of them yet, I need to start with one of them, which is the freelancers. So the first key milestone that I'm going to be working towards is to get 20 freelancers to complete the application form for joining the Unicorn Factory. As soon as I have those first 20, I'll be able to launch the directory and start attracting clients to the site. And as soon as I start driving clients to the site and they see that there are 20 freelancers on there, then we should be able to start generating leads, which again is the primary focus of me setting up the Unicorn Factory Canada. And as soon as I start generating leads for the different freelancers, I'll be able to start introducing pricing models that will allow me to generate revenue for the site. And as soon as I have that revenue to the site, I can use paid advertising to really scale up the growth a lot faster. So when I started the Unicorn Factory in New Zealand, I actually knew people in person, so I could just rope them into signing up. I actually had a mate of mine who was my accountant on the site. I had my girlfriend on there, and I also had some colleagues who were not even freelancing on the site. So it was a lot easier for me to just like add people on there and then get traction that way. But in Canada, I do not have that luxury. I have to start from scratch and I barely know anyone. I do have a few little connections to people though who I've reached out to and who are going to spread the word. But a lot of the work that I'm going to have to put in the very early days is to just get in touch with freelancers and tell them about what I'm up to. And that's exactly how I've been spending my time on the Unicorn Factory this week. I've been researching freelancers, I've been getting in touch with them, and I've basically been scheduling times to jump on a call with them to tell them a bit about the Unicorn Factory. Now, before I started this, I started with the assumption that 80% of the people that I'm going to get in touch with are just not even going to respond, which means in order for me to hit my 20 freelancers, I'm going to have to send 100 emails. My goal is to hit my 20 freelancer milestone inside of 2 weeks, which means 100 emails over 2 weeks means 50 a week. And so what I've been doing is every morning before I start my official workday, so between 8 and 9 a.m., I've been spending that time researching different types of freelancers, figuring out if they'll be a good fit, and then I would just email them. So how have I done for my first week? Let's go over the different metrics and I'll tell you how the responses to those emails were. So as of 2 p.m. on Friday, the 8th of January, I have gotten in touch with 45 freelancers. I've got 7 calls scheduled with freelancers for next week, and I have 3 freelancers who have completed the profile form. Now, I assume that out of the 7 calls that I'm going to have, I might be able to convert 5 or 6 of them to complete the application form, which will bring me to 9 or 10, which means I am currently on track to hit my goal. I want to make a quick note about setting goals, especially when you are a first-time entrepreneur. So sometimes you want to hit certain revenue targets, or you want to hit certain milestones, and you just kind of pick certain output numbers out of thin air. So output numbers are things like revenue generated, new user signups, and all those types of things. But a lot of the times, those metrics are out of our control. That happened to me when I started my first startup, and we wouldn't hit our goals, and I would be completely devastated by it. But if you are new to setting up a business, you won't know how well you convert. You won't know how many emails it will take in order to get someone to sign up to your platform. So all you can really do is make an assumption and then figure out what that input target is. So for my case, the input target is the amount of emails that I send, because I know that if I send those emails, regardless of what the output is, eventually I'll get there. And if not, I can revise how many people I convert, and then I can use those assumptions to set new goals for the upcoming periods. I just feel like taking that approach is a lot healthier than trying to like dream up a number that you don't know where it came from. So just focusing on things that are in your control will make it a lot easier to stick with doing the work. So another question I feel I am likely to get is, why do I jump on calls with people? Can't I just send them to a landing page and then have a sign up button on there? Now the answer to that is yes, I can do that. However, the reason why I want to jump on the call is, number one, I just want to get to know these people. These are the first few people who are going to be joining the Unicorn Factory Canada, and I just want to know who they are, and I want to be able to answer questions for them. Now, there are a few additional reasons why I want to get in touch with them. Number one is I will hear what kind of questions they have based on the context that they have, and the questions that they have, other people are likely to have. So I can use those questions to basically prepare answers and then to put those answers onto my landing page. The second thing is I want to have a conversation with them, because I am coming into this with a lot of assumptions around how people freelance in Canada, and realistically speaking, I don't know anything about the freelancing market here in Canada. So I better just talk to these people and hear what the kind of things are that are easy, how they find work, what they find difficult, so that I can build my platform around what the actual market is doing rather than what I have dreamed up in my mind. And a big trap that I could fall for is to assume that everything that in New Zealand will also happen in Canada. Sometimes it happens, but other times it doesn't happen. And I could already see from my first few Google searches that it's a completely different landscape when it comes to finding freelancers. And then thirdly, if I talk to them, they might be able to refer other freelancers to me that I can get in touch with, and that will save me a lot of time and move me closer to my goal of reaching out to 100 freelancers. Also, when you get a referral rather than cold emailing people, they're more likely to respond, which means I'm more likely to hit my goal. So until I hit my 20 freelancers, that is going to be my primary focus, and I'll update you on like what other types of metrics I'm focusing on once I get there. So next I want to share a few quick updates on what I've done with the platform. So far I have built a homepage which is mostly targeted at customers or clients. At the moment, all they can do is post a job to a job board. It's not automated or connected to anything. It just simply opens up an Airtable form where I get all of that information just in case someone does stop by. Then I've also set up the freelancer page, which is basically the very raw version of what the freelancer landing page would look like. If someone does end up on that page, they can schedule a call with me if they want to sign up. I'm going to be making changes to that now, but that was like the absolute bare minimum that I was willing to do to start off with. So at the moment, all I'm really paying for is the Webflow plan and the Webflow hosting, which if you were to start out from scratch will probably cost you about $50 US a month, which means you're not spending a whole lot of money. You can use Airtable for free. I do pay for Calendly already, so I don't see that as an additional cost. So that is how much it costs to get something up and running. So I do want to make a quick note on how much time I'm spending on this. I have set myself a limit as to how much time I can dedicate to the Unicorn Factory Canada, because I don't want it to interfere with all the other stuff that I am working on. So besides the 8 to 9 shift that I'm doing in the morning where I build my list of freelancers, I also give myself one additional day that I can allocate to the Unicorn Factory Canada. And so I'm using that time, of course, to build the platform out, but I'm also using that time to get in touch with potential partners. So I've been reaching out to co-working spaces, people who might be able to help work with me on the Unicorn Factory, and just basically allocating my time to those different types of tasks. Of course, I have a significant advantage that I don't have to go through the journey of learning Webflow, Airtable, Zapier, all those types of stuff, because I've already spent time learning all those tools, which is a significant advantage when it comes to allocating time towards different types of things. But here comes the plug. If you are new to those tools and you want to learn these tools faster, you kind of want to skip the whole process of like researching every part of the internet for how all the different types of tools work, get in touch with me. One of the things that I am doing is I am helping people build their own marketplaces, giving them advice and kind of setting them on the path that will help them get their platform up and running. Hopefully just watching these videos can kind of give you a bit of an idea of how I think about building these marketplaces and how you can approach it even if you don't have a whole bunch of time that you can allocate to it. But that is pretty much it. That is my first weekly update. I'd be super keen to hear what you think about it, what your thoughts are on all of it, what kind of things I should do differently. But I appreciate you watching the entire thing and I look forward to seeing you back for the next one. Bye!